Hello there. On today's checklist, I'll be talking about the AirWaav. Have you ever seen or heard of this before, the AirWaav? I'm sure you've seen ads on your social feeds, by sponsored CrossFitters or powerlifters, strongman athletes. But have you ever wondered whether this would work for you? Now, I'm not a high level athlete. Heck, I don't even consider myself an average athlete. But I was curious to know whether or not this would help my performance. So I bought it. Over the next 30 workouts, I am going to put this to the test using the Concept 2 rower, using a specific workout for each of those 30 workouts. And we'll see if this really works for an everyday person such as myself. So that was my 30th workout. Not consecutive workout on the rower, but 30th total workout in testing the AirWaav. This is the performance series. And before I go any further, I just wanted to say yes, my eye is bloody, and I don't know if you can tell it on the camera, but I I must have burst a blood vessel several days ago, so it is bloody. So I apologize. Hopefully, this doesn't cause too much of a distraction. But anyway, on with the AirWaav. So yeah, I've been testing the AirWaav for 30 days, 30 total days using the same workout on the rower. The workout is comprised of a 20 round interval, 5 calorie row with a 10-second rest in between each of the 20 rounds. But I just wanted to use something consistent so that way it's apples to apples as far as when we track the data. Anecdotally, as far as what I feel about the AirWaav, I think it does help, and I do feel that it does help me breathe easier, especially when you get into the latter parts of the workout, when your heart rate's elevated and you're breathing heavy. It seems to help you breathe easier and taking in as much air as you can. The other part too is that the protection of your teeth. I think that might be more of a placebo effect, knowing that there is protection to your teeth, and that way you can really bear down and just grind at it, pun intended. So I do think knowing that there's protection to your teeth and the aspect of breathing easier does help in your overall performance. Now, we'll see how the numbers shake out. You and I will see it firsthand what the data shows. I'll come back with the results with the numbers. All right, I'll catch you later. Hey there, welcome back. I wanted to give some days for my eye to clear out. So, what do you think? Looking better, huh? Yeah. Okay. So, in continuation of the results of the AirWaav test, I wanted to give some background before I dive into the data. So, again, the workout consisted of 20 rounds, 5 calorie on, with a 10-second rest in between each of those 20 rounds. I chose the rower just because of the PM5 and because the rower is in a controlled environment. I didn't have to worry about weather impacting the results. So I did compile the PM5 data. I'm using wattage as the data point to test the effectiveness of the AirWaav. And I wanted to use it in a random order because I wanted to eliminate any kind of variability that could skew the data. Now, what I mean by that is that, the rowing stroke is a skill. It's something you learn over time. And I'm not the best at it. You probably already picked out some flaws in my form in the actual workout summary. But in the end, I did get better. And what I mean by that is that here I plotted out all the wattage round by round, workout by workout. From workout one, I average 158 watts. And now, no, don't laugh at my numbers, okay? Again, I'm not the best at the row erg, and I'm still trying to learn how to get more power out of the stroke. So take it easy on me, all right, with these numbers, because these are not record breaking by any means. Anyway, workout one, I average 158 watts with the average time of little over 7 minutes, 7.04. Workout 30, I average 189 watts, average 6.14 seconds on my time. So the difference is that I gained from workout 1 to workout 30, I gained almost 31 watts. Over that same span, I was able to shave about almost a minute off my time. So as you can see, between workout 1 to workout 30, I did get better. And I wanted to make sure I eliminated that learning curve, from my results. So here you can see in the shaded cells is where I used the AirWaav, and the unshaded lines is where I did not use the AirWaav. So I wanted to make sure there was some randomness to it. But in the end, I wanted to make sure I used it an even amount of times. So with the AirWaav, I use it 15 times. Without the AirWaav, another 15 times, giving me a total of 30 workouts. Now, in looking at this, it's really hard to tell whether or not the AirWaav was effective. So in this next tab, I grouped the results. So everything you see in this green shaded area is where I use the AirWaav, and anything unshaded down here is where I did not use the AirWaav. Now, anecdotally, I think the AirWaav does work. It does help you breathe a lot easier, and it does give you the confidence knowing that your teeth are protected. But in saying that, I found something interesting. It seemed like the AirWaav gave me too much confidence. Now, here's what I mean by that. I tracked the first 10 rounds with the AirWaav, which gave me an average of almost 174 watts, versus the last 10 rounds, which you can see I faded down to a little over 168 watts, giving me a total difference between the first 10 rounds and the last 10 rounds of 5.7. Now, that means that I dropped down 5.7 watts over the last half of the workout. Versus without the AirWaav, where I averaged over the first 10 rounds 168 watts, and the last 10 rounds dropped down to almost 165 watts, giving me a difference of 3.35, meaning decrease was less without the AirWaav. So that tells me that I felt so good with the AirWaav that it gave me so much confidence in the beginning that I felt I could maintain the same pace throughout the workout. But essentially, I went in too hot. And you can see round by round, here's the difference round by round. The first round, I kind of chalk it up to just getting the flywheel moving. So I don't really count this too much, but you can see that I really ramped it up over the first 6 rounds or so. Round 9, looks like I faded the most. But once I hit this last half of the workout, rounds 11 through 20, here you can see that I really faded right around round 15. So the last third of the workout is where I really faded. And again, it just tells me that I went in too hot. I wasn't pacing properly. So that was an interesting takeaway that I found in this test. So I spoke about the anecdotal evidence, how the AirWaav made me feel. As far as the empirical evidence, I think the data kind of speaks for itself. I mean, this is not the most scientific process. I'm sure there is better ways, but this is the best way I could think of that provided the most consistent results. So in looking at the breakdown of this grouping, with the AirWaav versus without the AirWaav, with the AirWaav, I average almost 171 watts versus without the AirWaav, where I average 166.4 watts. So you can see that there was an improvement. The difference gave a positive average with the AirWaav of an additional 4.61 watts. As far as timing is concerned, the difference was minimal. You can see right here, The average time with the AirWave, I averaged 6.5 versus without the AirWave was around the same. It was only a difference of negative zero point zero 0.06, 6/100th of a second. So the average timing wasn't as big of a difference, but that's why I wanted to use wattage, as I think the wattage may tell a different story. I wanted to test the AirWave as a below average athlete, find out for myself whether this was effective. And to me, it does work. I think anecdotally it works, and empirically, with the evidence, the data that I compiled, it does support that it is effective. You know, so if you want to try this out for yourself, I hope you would consider using my affiliate link located in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, perhaps you enjoy this one where I test the airwave recovery mouthpiece. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.